Sunlight poured on the old stone floor. You read slow, lips in a frown. I hid deep in the quiet shelves, cold hands tucked in my coat. I rehearse soft words in my mouth, shaking. But each time you smile, the moments slip. I've loved you quietly, quietly, through fading light and that still room photograph, shaking in my small mind. Night rain knew every name I swallowed. I've loved you quietly, quietly. You shared news of some new bright love. I'll have once, then watch my feet. Empty doorways knew what I felt. My fault lived where my voice broke. Held back again, trembling breath caught. Afraid one word would tear us open. I've loved you quietly, quietly. Street lamps blurred in a dark, wet glass. I waited there, you didn't look back. If I had spoken, years might change. I've loved you quietly, quietly. That night, the night rain found us. My coat dripped, your eyes stayed clear. I said the truth, my whole small truth. You whispered, I never felt it. While sometimes truth feels like losing everything by it, but it's the first key to yourself. You walked off slow, light on your hair. Each step road, no on the wet street. Quiet rooms learned a softer kind pain. Silence turned from prison into ghost. I've loved you quietly, quietly, under fading light and harsh white dawn. I waited years, you didn't come back. If I had spoken, I'd still lose you. Yet my own name sounds clear tonight. I've loved you quietly, quietly, in the still dark glass. I finally stay. In the still dark glass. Night rain blurs the glass between us. Your laugh spills warm across my doubts. I hold my my trembling breath so still. Cold hands hide words you never hear. Every glance I stole felt like a crime. If I had spoken, would you have stayed? I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Photographs shaking in my tired mind. Empty doorways where our shadows crossed. Your unreturned calls echo through quiet rooms. I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Years of small jokes I never told. Soft looks drop to the warm floor. I waited while your storms passed through. You never saw how my ribs burned. Every word held back, cut like glass. If I had spoken, could you love me? I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Street lights bled through night, rain on us. Your bright voice danced around my fear. My fault was hope with no real name. I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Silent years, your eyes grew soft, now warming up. You whispered no, and the world shrank. The silence between us finally had shape. You touched my hand, kind but distant. Felt the long ache loosen inside. Too late for us, not for true. I watched you leave through that empty doorway. I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Now the quiet feels heavier, somehow kinder. Trembling breath slows in this quiet room. I would have held you longer, I know. But open hands must learn to stay empty. I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. In the fading light, my silence finally answers back. on that old park bench. You drew worlds in soft gray lines. I watched close from the shadowed path. Cold hands hid inside my coat. Every autumn I rehearse brave words alone, but night rain always drowned my voice. I loved you quietly all those years, like photographs shaking in my chest. Empty doorways where your name echoed. If I had spoken when you were mine, I loved you quietly all those years. Years slipped by like leaves in wind, unreturned calls I never dared make. You lived on in my quiet room. Half smile burned through fading light. Every season I rewrote the same confession. A trembling breath kept the truth hidden. I loved you quietly all those years, like a soft song no one heard. Night rain tapping on my bare window. If I had spoken, I'd have held you longer. I loved you quietly all those years. Moonlight found us back at that bench. My voice broke free from its cage. You looked down, then past my shoulder, said your heart lived in another time. Your love is not less when unanswered bail. I watch the word never fill the air. Silence wrapped tight around my chest. Your sunlocked door inside swung open. I saw my fault, the years of waiting. Too late, but the secret ghost left. I loved you quietly all those years. Now the ache walks with me, now you. Cold hands empty, but the weight is lighter. Fading leaves fall slow through my regret. I whispered goodbye to our unwritten life. I loved you quietly all those years. I walk home alone, but at last I breathe. Back row, fading light on her hair. Crowded room, I breathed her name. Cold hands hid in my sleeves. Words piled up like unread mail. I told myself this quiet love was mercy. Better silence than her turning away. I loved you in silence for years. Night rain knew every unsent word. Your smile was a door I feared. Photographs shaking in my small hands. I loved you in silence for years. Graduation clouds hung low and near. Empty doorways echoed with what ifs. Trembling breath beneath the cafe awning. My fault, I spoke at last. I broke the spell, my voice unhidden. I watched your eyes close like evening. I loved you in silence for years. Your soft I didn't know cut through. You said you weren't in love with me. Those gentle words still struck like stone. I loved you in silence for years. You held my hurt like fragile glass. Said we could stay friends, just friends. A quiet room grew inside my chest. I spoke my heart, I told the dark, only to hear my own echo. Yeah, the echo meant I still existed. Now I walk past that old hall. Every seat remembers my held tongue. If I had spoken, would you stay? Or was this always how we end? I loved you in silence for years. Now the truth stands bare between us. You turn toward light I cannot follow. Still my chest feels wider, less caged. I lost your maybe, found my own voice. I loved you in silence for years. In this fading light, I finally forgive my silence. Autumn halls, your laugh cut through dust. Leaves on sidewalks, our last bright year. I sat back 2 rows behind you, cold hands, hidden notes, trembling breath. Every glance felt like a borrowed life. I waited in silence, scared to speak. I loved you quietly for years. Night rain trace your name on glass. Photograph shaking in my small room. If I had spoken in that fading light, I loved you quietly for years. Half-drunk cups, ink stains on plans, your hair caught sun, soft gold threads. You walked me home through damn streets. My fault, I turned each step to hope. Every brush of hands rewrote my heart. I waited in silence, afraid to breathe. I loved you quietly for years. Your joy, strangers, far bright stars. Empty doorways held my unasked words. If I had spoken before you changed, you quietly for years. December porch, thin smoke, fading light. My voice broke loose, almost not there. I always loved you, slipped into dark. You said I said, not the same. Whole truth is a wound that finally breathes slow. Night swallowed us, but my chest felt lighter. Street lamps blurred, my fault walked beside me. Unreturned calls lived only in my head. Too late to hold you any longer. You know, became the only honest yes. I loved you quietly for years. Each step away named what we weren't. Quiet rooms echo with what I confessed. If I had spoken, you'd still choose calm. I would have held you only in dreams. I loved you quietly for years. I leave the night behind, but keep your shadow. same corner seat, your notebook open wide, night rain pressed soft against the glass, cold hands wrapped tight around my cup. I traced your smile, said nothing again. The quiet room held every word I buried. I waited, trembling breath caught almost breath. I loved you in silence for years, faded light on your unread pages, photographs shaking in my closed eyes. My fault was thinking time would wait. I loved you in silence for years. That gray gold day, the sky sank low. You looked up once and looked away. I crossed the floor through blurred reflection, heart half beating, steps too loud inside. The quiet air held every word I hoarded. I waited, trembling breath breaking at last. I loved you in silence for years. Night rain smeared the street into silver. Your soft gaze held a different mercy. You said you never saw me that way. I loved you in silence for years. The world went still between each word. Your sorry felt like glass on stone. I stayed there inside that cracked moment. You spoke of care, not the kind I dreamed. But when I spoke the words my soul had kept bare, even if your heart could not hear. Empty doorways glowed as I walked home. Unreturned calls echoed from some other life. Too late to hold you any longer. Truth cut deep, yet loose in my chest. I loved you in silence for years. Now the silence feels strangely clean. I waited, you didn't come back still. My fault, yet some small part feels free. Your shadow stays, but its weight is thinner. I loved you in silence for years. I leave the quiet behind me, yet inside remains stayed in corners. You were soft light near the window. I learned your hands, your trembling breath. Loved you quiet in my own shadow. Every night I walk past empty doorways, mouth full of words, never leaving home. I loved you quietly, and it broke me. Photographs shaking inside my tired chest. Night rain pressed hard against the glass. Your name sat burning behind my teeth. I loved you quietly, and it broke me. This time I stood by the doorway, heart too loud for that small space. Cold hands counting each slow step forward. Fading light curled around your outline. Across the room, through all that noise, carrying years of unspoken, thin as glass. I loved you quietly, and it broke me. Your kind eyes held such distant weather. Your soft "I'm sorry" cut through the night. My fault, I waited, I spoke too late. I loved you quietly, and it broke me. The crowd blurred like smoking water. I nodded once, learned how to fall. I kept my love behind my teeth. That truth rang louder than any note. Silence cracked wide open around us. I walked out alone through night rain. Out on the street, the air was clear. Each trembling breath hurt but felt true. I left your name in the cold wind. Let the weight of silence drift off. I loved you quietly, and it broke me. Yet my voice stayed warm in the dark. Too late to hold you any longer. Still I am lighter without that hush. Your no remains, so does my courage. I loved you quietly. Somewhere you laugh, and my silence finally rests. Night rain blurs the glass outside. You laugh, the whole room softens. I high by the fogged up window, cold hands wrapped round a cooling cup. I trace words on wet glass, then wipe them. Every breath says tell her, I stay silent. I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Fading light on your hair like fire, photograph shaking in my small mind. If I had spoken long years ago, I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Rise, the door breeze in. Street lamp draws a pale gold circle. I follow your steps into night. My trembling breath counts each one. I hold my fear like glass and break it. Every step says tell her, I obey, yeah. I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Under that lamp my voice finally cracked. I said your name like a lost prayer. Your eyes turned soft, not warm. I loved you quietly, between our shoulders. Empty doorways watch me not call you back. I stand alone where our shadows parted. Quiet rooms wait but feel less cruel. I taste the loss, not just the fear. My fault and my freedom share a breath. I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Now it hangs in the air between us. Too late to hold you any longer. Yet my chest feels lighter, cracked not hollow. I waited, you didn't come back through. Quiet, that was my truth. Under fading light, my secret walks home with me. Same cracked glass, same corner seat, lukewarm cup, slow jazz, fading light. You passed by with that soft smile. I stayed still ghost in daylight. I traced your laugh in the window steam, cold hands around heat I never claimed. I loved you in silence for so long. Night rain knew the words I say, photographs shaking in my warm night, every missed hello and unreturned call. I loved you in silence for so long. Learned your books, the names, the spine, how your eyes fell when you sighed. Each small habit a secret doorway I walk through alone every night. I held my breath when you passed near, trembling breath, no sound, only ears. I loved you in silence for so long. Empty doorways watch me let you pass. Coffee cooled while my courage burned out. If I had spoken, I say that now. I loved you in silence for so long. One gray day, the chair stood empty. The rain tapped slow on the tired glass. I said your name, my voice half broken. You met my eyes, kind but distant. You whispered truth I already feared. I heard you too late, your silence answered. Your soft note fell like quiet snow, not cruel, just heavy, just true. Relief and loss shared the same breath. My fault, my timing, my late truth. I loved you in silence for so long. Now the weight is gone, only ache. You walked out into the light of rain. I stayed back with my bare heart. I would have held you longer if allowed. I loved you in silence for so long. But keep the quiet truth. Night rain on the dim glass falls, cold hands on a chipped white cup. Your chair waits empty by the door, fading light paints dust on the floors. I held my tongue through all those years. Quiet rooms knew every word I feared. I loved you enough to let go. Photographs shaking in my slow hands. Your soft laugh haunts these empty doorways. I waited, you didn't come back home. I loved you enough to let go. We walked close, our sleeves brushed once. You spoke of lives where I was ghost. I learned your eyes, forgot my own. Called it enough just walking you home. Tonight my trembling breath broke that spell. I laid my small truth on your table. I loved you enough to let go. Simple words slipped out like night rain. Your gaze turned distant, kind yet close. My fault was waiting until too late. I loved you enough to let go. Your shadow thinned into the gray street. Each step you took pulled years from me. I heard my heart break soft, not loud. It's love when you don't make them stay. Those buried lines rose up like smoke. I stood alone yet somehow more whole. Now the storm is only a hush. Unreturned calls fade into mere noise. If I had spoken, I know this, I would have held you longer inside. I loved you enough to let go. No promise made, no vows to keep. Just one clear moment, my shaking voice. Silence answered, still I did not drown. You know, became the door I needed. I loved you enough to let go. In this quiet heart you leave, yet stay. Same corner seat, your notebook open wide. Night rain pressed soft against the glass. Cold hands wrapped tight around my cup. I traced your smile, said nothing again. The quiet room held every word I buried. I waited, trembling breath caught almost brave. I loved you in silence for years. Fading light on your unread pages. Photographs shaking in my closed eyes. My fault was thinking time would wait. I loved you in silence for years. sky sank low. You looked up once and looked away. Across the floor through blurred reflection, heart half beating, steps too loud inside. The quiet held every word I hoarded. I waited, trembling breath, breaking at last. I loved you in silence for years. Night rain smeared the street into silver. Your soft gaze held a different mercy. You said you never saw me that way. I loved you in silence for years. Between each word, your sorry felt like glass on stone. Stayed there inside that cracked moment. You spoke of care, not the kind I dreamed. The eyes spoke the words my soul had kept pale. Even if your heart could not hear. Empty doorways glowed as I walked home. Unreturned calls echoed from some other life. Too late to hold you any longer. Truth cut deep, yet loosened my chest. I loved you in silence for years. Now the silence feels strangely clean. I waited, you didn't come back still. My fault, yet some small part feels free. Your shadow stays, but its weight is thinner. Silence for you. I leave the quiet behind me, yet inside remains. Night rain blurs the glass between us. Your laugh spills warm across my doubts. I hold my trembling breath so still. Cold hands hide words you never hear. Every glance I stole felt like a crime. If I had spoken, would you have stayed? I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Photographs shaking in my tired mind. Empty doorways where our shadows cross. Your unreturned calls echo through quiet rooms. Loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Here's a small joke I never told. Soft looks drop to the worn floor. I waited while your storms passed through. You never saw how my ribs burn. Every word held back, cut like glass. If I had spoken, could you love? streetlights bled through night rain on us. Your bright voice danced around my fear. My fault was hope with no real name. I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Then the room fell into fading light. I said your name like a last prayer. I carried you in my silent years. Your eyes grew soft, not warm enough. You whispered no, and the world shrank. The silence between us finally hit shape. You touched my hand, kind but distant. I felt the long ache loosen inside. Too late for us, not for true. I watched you leave through that empty doorway. I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. Now the quiet feels heavier, somehow kinder. Trembling breath slow in this quiet room. I would have held you longer, I know. But open hands must learn to stay empty. I loved you quietly, it was my ruin. In the fading light, my silence finally answers back. Night rain on the dim glass falls. Cold hands on a chipped white cup. Your chair waits empty by the door. Fading light paints dust on floors. I held my tongue through all those years. Quiet rooms knew every word I feel. I loved you enough to let go. Photographs shaking in my slow hands. Your soft light haunts these empty doorways. I waited, you didn't come back home. I loved you enough to let go. We walked close, our sleeves brushed once. You spoke of lives where I was ghost. I learned your eyes, forgot my own. Called it enough, just walking you home. a small truth on your table. I loved you enough to let go. Simple words slipped out like night rain. Your gaze turned distant, kind yet close. My fault was waiting until too late. I loved you enough to let go. Your shadow thinned into the gray street. Each step you took pulled years for me. I heard my heart break soft, not loud as love when you don't make them stay. Those buried lines rose up like smoke. I stood alone, yet somehow more whole. Now the storm is only a hush. When return calls fade into mere noise. If I had spoken, I know this, I would have held you longer inside. I loved you enough to let go. No promise made, no vows to keep. Just one clear moment, my shaking voice. Silence answered, still I did not drown. Your no became the door I needed. I loved you enough to let go. In this quiet heart you leave yet stay. Crowded room, I stayed in corners. You were soft light near the window. I learned your hands, your trembling breath. Loved you quiet in my own shadow. Every night I walk past empty doorways, mouth full of words, never leaving home. I loved you quietly and it broke me. Photograph shaking inside my tired chest. Night rain pressed hard against the glass. Your name sat burning behind my teeth. I loved you quietly and it broke me. This time I stood by the doorway, heart too loud for that small space. Cold hands counting each slow step forward. Fading light curled around your outline. I crossed the room through all that noise, carrying years of unspoken, thin as glass. I loved you quietly and it broke me. Your kind eyes held such distant weather. You're soft, I'm sorry, cut through the night. My fault, I waited, I spoke too late. I loved you quietly. hurt like smoking water. I nodded once, learned how to fall. I kept my love behind my teeth. That truth rang louder than any no. Silence cracked wide open around us. I walked out alone through night rain. Out on the street, the air was clearer. Each trembling breath hurt but felt true. I left your name in the cold wind. Let the weight of silence drift off. I loved you quietly, and it broke me. Yet my voice stayed warm in the dark. Too late to hold you any longer. Still I am lighter without that hush. Your no remains, but so does my courage. I loved you quietly and it broke me. Somewhere you laugh and my silence finally rests.
Fading light on that old park bench. You drew worlds in soft gray lines. I watched close from the shadowed path. Cold hands hid inside my coat. Every autumn I rehearsed brave words alone, but night rain always drowned my voice. I love you quietly all those years, like photographs shaking in my chest. Empty doorways where your name echoed. If I had spoken when you were mine, I loved you quietly all those years. Years slip by like leaves in wind. Unreturned calls I never dared make. You lived on in my quiet room. Your half smile burned through fading light. Every season I rewrote the same confession, but trembling breath kept the truth hidden. I loved you quietly all those years, like a soft song no one heard. Night rain tapping on my bare window. If I had spoken, I'd have held you longer. I loved you quietly all those years. Moonlight found us back at that bench. My voice broke free from its cage. You looked down then past my shoulder, said your heart lived in another time. Yeah, love is not less when unanswered, babe. I watch the word never fill the air. Silence wrapped tight around my chest, yet some locked door inside swung open. I saw my fault, the years of waiting. Too late, but the secret ghost left. I loved you quietly all those years. Now the ache walks with me, not you. Cold hands empty, but the weight is lighter. Fading leaves fall slow through my regret. I whispered goodbye to our unwritten life. I loved you quietly all those years. I walk home alone, but at last I breathe. Back row fading light on her hair. Crowded room, I breathe her name. Cold hands hid in my sleeves. Words piled up like unread mail. I told myself this quiet love was mercy. Better silence than her turning away. I loved you in silence for years. Night rain knew every unsent word. Your smile was a door I feared. Photograph shaking in my small hand. Loved you in silence for years. Graduation clouds hung low and near. Empty doorways echoed with what ifs. Trembling breath beneath a café awning. I thought I spoke at last. I broke the spell, my voice unnamed. I watched your eyes close like evening. I loved you in silence for years. You're soft, I didn't know cut through. Said you weren't in love with me. once I spoke my heart, I told the dark, only to hear my own echo. Yet the echo meant I still existed. Now I walk past that old hall. Every seat remembers my held tongue. If I had spoken, would you stay? Or was this always how we end? I loved you in silence for years. Now the truth stands bare between us. You turn toward a light I cannot follow. Still my chest feels wider, less caged. I lost you, maybe found my own voice. I loved you in silence for years. Forgive my silence. Night rain blurs the glass outside. You laugh, the whole room softens. I hide by the fogged up window. Cold hands wrap round a cooling cup. I trace words on wet glass, then wipe them. Every breath says, tell her I stay silent. I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Fading light on your hair like fire. Photographs shaking in my small mind. If I had spoken long years ago, I loved you quietly, that was my truth. You ride, the door breathes in. Streetlamp draws a pale gold circle. I follow your steps into night. My trembling breath counts each one. I hold my fear like glass, then break it. Every step says, tell her I obey it. I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Under that lamp my voice finally cracked. I said your name like a lost breath. Your eyes turned soft, no warm. I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Your answer fell slow, but cut clean. You were gentle, the word no wasn't. You said I'm sorry, looked away. Oh, love is not old, for faithful silence started again between our shoulders. Empty doorways, watch me not call you back. I stand alone where our shadows parted. Quiet rooms wait but feel less cruel. I taste the loss, not just the fear. My fault and my freedom share breath. I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Now it hangs in the air between us. Too late to hold you any longer. Yet my chest feels lighter, cracked, not hollow. I waited, you didn't come back through. I loved you quietly, that was my truth. Under fading light, my secret walks home with me.
Same cracked glass, same corner seat, lukewarm cup, slow jazz, fading light. You passed by with that soft smile, I stayed still, a ghost in daylight. I traced your laugh in the window steam, cold hands around heat I never claimed. I loved you in silence for so long. Night rain knew the words I say, photographs shaking in my worn mind, every missed hello and unreturned call. I loved you in silence for so long. Learned your books, the names, the spines, how your eyes fell when you sighed. Each small habit, secret doorway I walked through alone every night. I held my breath when you passed near, trembling breath, no sound, only years. I loved you in silence for so long. Empty doorways watch me let you pass. Coffee cooled while my courage burned out. If I'd spoken, I'd say that now. I loved you in silence for so long. One gray day, the chair stood empty, rain tapped slow on the tired glass. I said your name, my voice half broken. You met my eyes, kind but distant. You whispered truth I already feared. I heard you too late, your silence answered. Your soft note fell like quiet snow, not cruel, just heavy, just true. Relief and loss shared the same breath, my fault, my time, and my late truth. I loved you in silence for so long. Now the weight is gone, only ache. You walked out into the lighter rain. I stayed back with my bare heart. I would have held you longer if allowed. I loved you in silence for so long. Autumn halls, your laugh cut through dust, leaves on sidewalks, our last bright year. I sat back, 2 rows behind you, cold hands hitting notes, trembling breath. Every glance felt like a borrowed life. I waited in silence, scared to speak. I loved you quietly for years. Night rain traced your name on glass, photographs shaking in my small room. If I had spoken in that fading light, I loved you quietly for years. Half-drunk cups, ink stains on plans, your hair caught sun, soft gold threads. You walked me home through damp streets, my fault, I turned each step to hope. Every brush of hands rewrote my heart. I waited in silence, afraid to breathe. I loved you quietly for years. Your joy with strangers, far bright stars, empty doorways held my unasked words. If I had spoken before you changed, I loved you quietly for years. December porch, thin smoke fading light, my voice broke loose, almost not there. I always loved you, slipped into dark, your sad eyes said, not the same. This truth is a wound that finally breathes there. Night swallowed us, but my chest felt lighter. Street lamps blurred, my fault walked beside me. Unreturned calls lived only in my head. Too late to hold you any longer. You know, became the only honest. Yes, I loved you quietly for years. Each step away named what we weren't. Quiet rooms echo with what I confess. If I had spoken, you'd still choose gone. I would have held you only in dreams. I loved you quietly for years. I leave the night behind.
Sunlight pooled on the old stone floor. You read slow, lips in a frown. I hid deep in the quiet shelves, cold hands tucked in my coat. I rehearse soft words in my mouth, shaking. But each time you smiled, the moment slipped out. Loved you quietly, quietly, through fading light in that still room. Photographs shaking in my small mind. Night red knew every name I swallowed. I've loved you quietly, quietly. You shared news of some new bright love. I laughed once, then watched my feet. Empty doorways knew what I felt. My fault lived where my voice broke. Held back again, trembling breath caught, afraid one word would tear us open. I've loved you quietly, quietly. Street lamps blurred in the dark, wet glass. I waited there, you didn't look back. If I had spoken, years might change. I've loved you quietly, quietly. That night, the night rain found us. My cold drip, your eyes stayed clear. I said the truth, my whole small truth. You whispered, I never felt it. God, sometimes truth feels like losing everything. But it's the first key to yourself. You walked off slow, light on your hair. Each step wrote no on the wet street. Quiet rooms learned a softer kind pain. Silence turned from prison into ghost. I've loved you quietly, quietly, under fading light and harsh white dawn. I waited years, you didn't come back. If I had spoken, I'd still lose you. Yet my own name sounds clear tonight. I've loved you quietly, quietly, in the still dark glass. I finally stayed.